Style for Life. I'm Stephanie Rumble, fashion stylist, accountability coach, and your guide to feeling good in your body and your clothes. Based in Christchurch, New Zealand, I bring over 3 decades of experience in fashion, fitness, and wellness to help you feel strong, stylish, and self-assured. Together we'll explore the emotional, physical, and practical sides of style, because true confidence starts from within. No matter your age or size, you deserve to feel confident and show up as the best version of you. I truly believe this. This is Style for Life. Morning, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I'm very excited this week to be talking about New Zealand Fashion Week. So next week I will be flying to Auckland. I'll be in Auckland for 3 days and attending New Zealand Fashion Week. So I thought ahead of New Zealand Fashion Week, I have a couple of exciting designer interviews lined up, but also I wanted to tell you about what Fashion Week is, what to expect from me next week, and who will be there, or who I think might be there, and also what we do at Fashion Week, how it came about, and a little bit about its history. So you understand what it is and is it accessible? Can I go? All of those questions will be answered. So it started in 2001. It was first called L'Oreal Fashion Week, and it was founded by a woman called Dame Pieta Stewart, who is based here in Christchurch, and she had a vision for pulling New Zealand designers together and showcasing them in one place. And I remember when it was launched, because obviously I was around. It was 2001, October the 23rd. I had a brand new baby, Bryn. He was born in August. And I remember this really exciting enterprise being launched. So it was very exciting for New Zealand. There's been fashion weeks in many other countries as well. So a lot of us have heard about New York Fashion Week and about Milan Fashion Week. We've also heard about some of the Asian fashion weeks as well. So there's lots of fashion weeks that happen around the world. They generally happen in the spring of the year of the country. So for us, we're one of the only countries, other than Australia, of course, who has Australian Fashion Week, who launches a fashion week at this time of the year. So this time of the year being, for those of you who are listening in the future, we're in the middle or towards the end of August. So our fashion week runs from the 25th to the 30th of August. And it's open to the public. Some of it is open to the public and some of it is industry to start with. So you can buy tickets to Fashion Week. You never used to be able to do that. It used to be only an invitation event where only specific people went. We, as members of the fashion community, we used to have to bid for tickets, or we got invited. I've been invited this year, which is really, really nice. And I haven't had to do much bidding at all. So very, very, very grateful to have been invited. I did apply to be a delegate, which you have to do. And then the invitations have come in, which is fantastic. So in my busy schedule, I've managed to be able to secure a few tickets, which I will tell you about. And this time I've been a little bit choosy because I went to Fashion Week in 2023 and I went to everything. So I was invited to, and if I didn't get invited, I sent off an email and I got a ticket. And by the end of the week, I was a bit burnt out and I had to take this is not good information, but I'll share it anyway. I had to take 2 suitcases full of outfits, so I had lots of fun things to wear. Whereas this time, I'm only going to go to 5 shows. So I know that sounds like a lot, and I'm very excited, but I just want to be energy preserving a bit more and really enjoy the shows I go to rather than just being running from one to the next to the next to the next, which is what I did in 2023. And I have been in the past as well and gone to all the shows, kind of being that person that wants to go to everything, but just a little bit more maturity and a wee bit more discerning this year. I have decided to target a few events where I know I'll get exposure to brands that will be great for my client and listener base. And hopefully I'm going to bring you a podcast next week from Fashion Week, combining some snippets and interviews. So I've just got to work with my lovely Maxine London, who is my podcast editor and support person, to work out how I do that. Maxine, you'll be listening to this to edit it. So you know there's questions coming. Anyway, back to New Zealand Fashion Week. So I'm just going to tell you about the history. So again, it was founded in 2001, on October the 23rd. The first show was launched by Dame Pieta Stewart. It was sponsored by L'Oreal. And then in 2004, it shifted to the Town Hall in Auckland, and Air New Zealand became the sponsor. They remained the sponsor till 2013. So they were really integrally part of New Zealand Fashion Week. And I remember that, Air New Zealand being part of it. And I also remember the iterations of their uniform kind of becoming public knowledge at that time as well. Just as a little history on Air New Zealand's uniform, the first one that was designer inspired or designer designed was the one designed by Zambezi. So they designed the first really nice Air New Zealand uniform. Sorry if you wore one prior to that, but they were the first New Zealand designer involved. And then the next New Zealand designer was Trelise Cooper. This time they have gone offshore, and it's Amelia Wickworth, I think Emile Wickworth, who's designing it. She is a New Zealander, but she's actually based in the UK, so still has that New Zealand connection. So that's just a New Zealand, bit of a New Zealand information. Anyway, so Dame Pieta Stewart ran Fashion Week till 2021, and then she stepped down and sold it to a man called Feroz Ali. And I'll tell you a wee bit about that in a minute. So I know Dame Pieta Stewart. I have very much had the privilege of meeting her on a number of occasions. I met her and spent some time with her just earlier this year and judged a best dressed at the races with her in the winter, just before I went overseas actually. So felt very privileged to spend time with her. She's very visionary. She's a very good businesswoman, and she really put New Zealand on the map for Fashion Week for all of those years that she ran it. So, you know, she ran it for a good 20 years, which is a very, very big commitment. So, you know, very much have enjoyed the shows I've been to of hers. Absolutely loved them and really enjoyed Fashion Week. In fact, I remember my first Fashion Week. I just started my business, which I think was about 2003, 2004. And lovely Lynn Woods, who owned Lynn Woods at the time, which is a fashion store here in Christchurch that she ran and owned for many years. She actually invited me and got me tickets to all the events, which was so good of her. She's a beautiful lady with a great brand. She sold the business since, and it's now passed on to someone else and has become something else. But very, very lovely time. I had the best time. She was so kind to me. I remember she even helped me organise and shared accommodation with me, took me out and met people. Very, very, very good. And I had a very good time. At the time I had small children. I managed to get away from them for a couple of days, and not that I wanted to, I wish they were here now, but I got away and had a really lovely time in the fashion world. It really helped me too. It really introduced me to designers and gave me the contacts which you need. So back to the history. So Fashion Week resumed in 2023. So it was run until 2021. I remember in 2022 it was cancelled. It was really, really sad that that happened. It was just the pandemic. There was so many more problems. And so again, Feroz Ali made the decision to pull it. And then he resumed it in 2023, which is when I went again after pandemic issues. And there was more of a focus this time on sustainability and Māoritanga and consumer awareness. So really making it that bit more inclusive and just giving it a new flavour. And I really, really enjoyed Fashion Week in 2023. So in all of this research, I thought, I don't even know who Feroz Ali is. So I thought I better actually Google him and find out, because he's running this event, or he owns this event. Obviously has a team of people that run it and do a great job. And I thought it's good to know a little bit about who he is. So he's the executive chairman of Whitecliffe School of Art and Design. He's on the board of governors. He's a really distinguished entrepreneur and a lead in the education and creative industries, with a career spanning over 30 years in New Zealand and Canada. His strategic vision and business acumen have driven successful establishment, acquisition, and expansion of so many enterprises across education, fashion, aviation, and technology. So he's a real entrepreneur. He really wanted to see this big New Zealand week continue, and he has got a really good business vision around it. So again, as I said, when I went in 2023, I had a really good time. I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was really well run. I felt really welcomed. And I was really well treated too. And that's really great for us as delegates, because we're the advocates for these things going forward. We're the advocates for Fashion Week. We're the advocates for the fashion brands, and giving us a good experience really makes all the difference. So I want to thank Feroz Ali and his team, and also advance thank them for the exciting Fashion Week I'm about to attend So anyway, I'm looking forward to next week and looking forward to how it all works. So I want to tell you a little bit about how Fashion Week works, and then a little bit about who supports it and how it manages to run. So first of all, New Zealand Fashion Week runs from the 25th of August, which is next week, to the 30th of August. And it starts just with an opening day on the Monday. In fact, I have the schedule here. And so it's just a bit of an opening day. I actually am not going to the opening because I have lots of work on Monday I need to attend. And so I'm flying up on Tuesday. But there's an opening ceremony. It's really, really nice to go to the opening party. It's nice to see, there's an archive event as well, which will actually be really good to go to. But again, I can't get FOMO, I've got to pick and choose. So that's the first day. It's usually just a lightish day, just a couple of events on the first day. Then it really kicks off on Tuesday the 26th, and there's some great designers on that day. So the designer shows are scheduled, nothing starts till 11 a.m. I love that. It's really good for me. And it's not because I like sleeping in, it's because I do like sleeping in sometimes, let's be honest. It's because I like to get up and exercise. And I like to get myself all organised and makeup on, hair done, etc., etc. And having it start at 11, it gives me plenty of time to do all that. So it's a good start. I find that is really good. I'll just check that I'm correct with those starting times before I start saying it's all 11. I was looking at my schedule again here. Yes, I think so. Oh, the summit 10 a.m. Oh, goodness, as well. Okay, some at 10, mostly 10 or 11 a.m. Yeah, the starting point. Some are only at 1 p.m. too. So usually between 3 and 5 to 7 shows a day. Obviously, Saturday the 30th is a huge day. Actually, it runs right through the day, starting at 9:30, and the last thing starts at 8:30. So you can buy tickets as members of the public. You just need to go onto the New Zealand Fashion Week website, pick and choose the tickets to the events that you want to go to and pay for them. So anyone can go, which is actually great, because in the past it was very much just us as members of the fashion community, and now it's open to everybody, which is great. So anyone can attend, and it's a really lovely thing to do with members of your staff. So for example, you want to just give them a thank you, take them to a Fashion Week event, and some of them are dinners, some of them are just shows, some of them are parties. Going to a couple of parties too, woohoo! And some of them are lectures, some of them are talks. So there's all sorts of interesting things that happen throughout the week. Yeah, so that's how it works, and they all go at different times through the day, starting at 10 a.m. and at 9:30. Obviously, on Saturday the 30th, I got the 11 a.m. thing wrong. I'm going to have to plan my day better. And then you can choose the shows you go to. So as a delegate, we get access to a lot of the events. So if you wanted to apply as a delegate, you can apply as a volunteer. So there's young people who do apply as volunteers for New Zealand Fashion Week, and that means that you can go and help out at Fashion Week. And if you're a student in the creative industries, it's a really, really cool thing to do. So you get to see the shows. You have to keep the enthusiastic attendees away from the catwalks. Not that we get on the catwalk, but you have to marshal people and make sure that everyone's in the right place and all of those things. So that's part of the job of the volunteers. Some of the volunteers are dressers. They help out the back. There's all sorts of jobs for volunteers. And if I'd been a fashion student when there was a fashion week, when I was a fashion student, but it was before there was a fashion week, I would 100% have volunteered, because it's great exposure, great contacts, and you do work hard. Yeah. And I think there's an opportunity for some paid work as well, but mostly for, if you want to volunteer, there's volunteer work too. So that's one thing you can do. You can apply as media. So if you work for a magazine, if you're a photographer, if you work in any aspect of the media, you could apply as media. I could probably have done that, but I did that 1 year. And I did it for ID Fashion Week in Dunedin, which is really good as well. And I got put in the photographer's pit. Oh my gosh. And that was a little bit tricky. So I haven't applied as media again. I applied as a delegate, so I get a seat and a good view, and I can take good footage and put things up. The pit for the photographers was good, but it was, a little uncomfortable. No seating, you're kind of jostling and all of that. It was fun, but I didn't quite get the right application there. I loved ID as well, by the way. That's in Dunedin. I can talk about that. Maybe I'll go next March. I think that's a commitment. I'll go to that next March. But anyway, back to New Zealand Fashion Week. You can apply as media, and then there are some paid roles as well. So you can look on the website for all of that. Now, obviously, there's a whole lot of models. So models get selected from all of the different agencies around New Zealand. So I saw a call for model casting a few months ago. What that means is that the agencies put forward models that are available and that want to be involved in New Zealand Fashion Week. Some of the models are new faces or young people, so they do it with a little bit of pay and just their expenses covered. Others are established models who are desired by the designers. Now, how it works is the models all get selected by New Zealand Fashion Week, and then the designers pick the models they want for their shows. And I did notice 2 years ago when I attended this really great focus on diversity in models, and this is something I've always really embraced myself. So first of all, having lots of different ethnicities, which is really great. Sometimes having different genders, even showing what may be traditionally female or traditionally male clothes, different genders showcasing those clothes, which is really, really good. So it's much more inclusive. Also, people of different sizes. So again, the average New Zealand woman is a size 14. And if all the clothes are a size 8, that can be a little off-putting. So having models of different sizes as well and different ages. So not just having 20-year-olds who are a size 6 to 8, which tends to be our model thought. Also people of different heights. So not necessarily that really willowy tall model. So that's what happens now. We see much more inclusion with models. Also people who are not walking. Sometimes we see people who are in wheelchairs and things like that. Also modelling, which is great because, again, everyone wears clothes. So it's great to see that the clothes the designers are showcasing can be worn by a range of people of different sizes, ages, ethnicities, heights, whether they've got any challenges like they're in a wheelchair or anything like that as well. So that was really good. In fact, I think I remember seeing a model also last Fashion Week who may have had a carbon leg or something like that. So, just very good inclusion and really nice to see that because fashion's taken a wee while to catch up with all of that. And you will see many of the websites of a lot of these designers and also other New Zealand designers and other designers internationally showcasing models in these different demographics. So yeah, very good. And again, like I say, I'm always looking at models in different demographics. In fact, I'm organising a fashion event on the 19th of October and looking at models of different ages there, which will be really exciting. So, a couple of women in their 50s and 60s, someone in their 40s, someone in their 30s. So, we've got people in different age groups and different sizes and colourings is good. So that's how Fashion Week works. Then obviously the shows run, the designers run the shows, they fit and dress the models. They often come out and show us and sometimes they talk. Not always. Often designers can be a little bit less inclined to be chatty or to be talky. Some are very talky and that's so good because I'm going to get them to talk on the podcast. Some it's just not their vibe. They're very good at designing, but the PR stuff is not so much for them, but they do come out and walk at the beginning or the end, usually the end of their shows. So we love to see them and it's really great to connect with them. And, I love that. Again, the more I talk about it, the more excited I'm getting. So I'm just going to tell you a bit about how it works. Obviously, we've heard a little bit about entrepreneurial Feroz Ali, who is running and is behind Fashion Week and owns it, but he can't just run it on his own with his own money. So again, he sells tickets, like we know, for members of the public, and he also has some really good sponsors who come behind the event, and we know and learn about who they are because they support the event. So I'm just going to tell you who they are just because I think it's really important to acknowledge them because without them, Fashion Week doesn't happen. So the Giltrap Group is the main sponsor of the event. So we'll see lots of signage from the Giltrap Group. So if anyone from Giltrap is listening, thank you so much. And then there's obviously a few others as well. So some of the other partners are Mindful Fashion New Zealand, and there's a real focus now in New Zealand Fashion Week on sustainability and mindful fashion because, as some of you know, textile waste is one of the greatest fillers of landfill in the whole world. So we really, looking at New Zealand Fashion Week, we really want to be mindful. We want mindful purchasing. Like actually, as we speak today, I'm wearing I'm going to take it off and show you a Karen Walker top. And you've probably seen me wear this before. I will have had this for, I don't know, 5, maybe more years. And you know what? I love it. I'm just going to stand up and show you. It's such a good piece. The trousers I'm wearing are leather. I bought these trousers from Country Road about, well, I bought them when I first went to work out of university, and that was in 1996. I only fit them for a few months of the year. So they're on today because they fit, just because they fit today. So this, again, is Karen Walker, and I've had it for a long time. So Mindful Fashion New Zealand, really big ethos on making sure that we're purchasing and thinking about what we purchase and looking at longevity, also thinking about recycling and reusing clothes as well. So there'll be some interesting information from them. We also have Viva, who are sponsoring the event, which is really exciting. They've sponsored before. We have Ngāti Whakatua Oraki, who are also sponsoring the event. There's a real focus on Māoritanga as well, so it's really nice to see aspects of Māori coming through in our designer collections, also in our models, and really feeding through into the event, because that's what we are. We have our national culture is Māori, so it's great to have that involved in New Zealand Fashion Week, and I'm really excited to see that coming through again, and great to have the sponsor. We have Auckland, I think that's just the group of Auckland sponsoring the event, the Hotel Indigo. We have Whitecliffe, a School of Art and Design, really amazing. Westfield Newmarket, 1800 Tequila. I wonder if there'll be any of that. DHL, and then the charity partner is Breast Cancer Cure, and I had a ticket to their event, which would be amazing, and I'd really like to go. It's on the Friday, but I'm coming home. Anyway, team, so that's some of the partners. There's a few other small sponsors and things as well. I couldn't list all of them, but just without all of these people, Fashion Week doesn't happen, and it's really great that they're there. We get to see them, some of them, when we go in to the Fashion Week foyer. There's always a bit of a meet and greet social area. So what do I like about Fashion Week? Well, clearly I like the fashion. And that is very, very cool. But equally, I love the connection. So it's just so good being around out there like-minded people who get it in the same way that I do. So I really love that. I just like it. It's just very much a lot of self-expression. There's a lot of young people kind of expressing who they are with their clothes, and there's a few old ones like us doing the same. So I really, really like and appreciate that. The designers, there's a big collection of designers actually showcasing at Fashion Week. I'm going to try and read them all off to you so that you know what they are. If you haven't bought a ticket and you want to go, you can. So designers showcasing on the 26th, Umoy, Juliet Hogan, which I'm going to, Taylor, Harris Tapper. So that's on the Tuesday. On the Wednesday, the Diamond Shop Trunk Show, which will be off-site. That's probably a little show. Claudia Lee, which I'm going to. Adrian Atelier, Kahui Collective, Catherine Wilson, which I'm going to, and then Reby as well is a big day on the Wednesday. On the Thursday, Jasmine Sparrow, Untouched World, which I'm going to. The Future of Fashion Show, which I probably will try and go to as well. I'll see if I have time. That would be quite good to get along to because it's emerging designers. And I actually met one of them the other day. So I feel like it would be really nice to go and support them. Auckland FC Kit Couture, and then Karen Walker and Adidas, which I'm excited about. And then in Zambezi, and I tossed with Zambezi, but the thing is I've got my Bryn's birthday's that day, so I'm going to take him out for dinner after the Karen Walker show. And then again on the Friday, the Reby Trunk show is repeated. The Breast Cancer Cure showcase, the Koto's clothes swap, which would be really good. Augustine, and then there's an Archives 2 Decades of New Zealand Style, which is actually also on the Monday as well, with the opening event. Then on the Saturday, it's a huge day, and this is a lot of public go on the Saturday, obviously because it's a Saturday. New Zealand Designer Breakfast at the Shelter, which is always fun. Walk the Line show, which is great. Sonio, again, the Reby Trunk show. I think it's Robe. Oh, I can't read it because I haven't printed it. I think it's Reby Trunk show again. The Graduate Collections again. Pacific Fusion Fashion Show. I went to that once. That was really good. The Keep show. Nufferman. Greatest Hits, the Best Looks of Fashion Week show. And then a Viva show again, Best Looks. So, there's lots and lots and lots of things also on other exhibitions and things going on too. So there's some an exhibition from Kerry Nathan, Rory Doherty Creative Installation. There's some archives exhibition, New Zealand on Screen video collection, and then a film festival collection too, and the New Zealand Fashion Museum. So there's a whole lot of stuff happening that week. So yeah, I'm glad I read that. I hadn't read that in detail. Now, actually, I'll try and post a link to the schedule because it's really good. So I'm going to Juliet Hogan. I'm really excited about that. I really like her as a designer. I really appreciate her brand ethos. I like the fabrics and colours she uses. It's really good quality clothing. So I'm going to her show on the 26th. I'm really excited. I'm going to the Claudia Lee show on the 27th. I'm looking forward to that too. Just a slightly different designer. Really looking forward to seeing what she's showing. And I'm really excited about going to Catherine Wilson. Also, I'm going to her show. Then I'm invited to her after party, which I went to a couple of years ago. It was so fun. So looking really excited about that. And then on the 28th, I'm going to Untouched World. And I actually am really looking forward to that because I'm hoping that I'm going to get Perry Drysdale on the podcast. I've also lined up Catherine Wilson. I've tried to get Karen Walker and still working on Juliet Hogan. So just working on that. So Karen Walker and Adidas is my last show on Thursday. There's so many more and it would be great to go to more. But again, I'm also using the trip to catch up with two or three of my clients and potentially a couple of future and potential clients. So it's a work trip. And I want to be available because two of my children live in Auckland. I have just spent 4 weeks with Bryn, which was amazing. But Poppy lives there too, and it's really nice to see them. And again, it is Bryn's 24th birthday on the 28th of August. So I need a wee bit of time to see and catch up with him. So that's what I'm going to. I'm also really looking forward to catching up with some of my fashion friends, some of the people that I don't actually see very often, who are other stylists, other designers, and all of that as well. So just really, really good to do that, have some time to talk to them, connect with them, find out what they're doing, find out how their businesses are running. And also, again, I will probably connect with the designers if I get the opportunity post-show. Again, very, very nice to be able to do that and, you know, celebrate who they are and what they're offering. And, you know, again, it's nice for you guys to see some of the fashion that they put forward. So in the shows I do attend, I'll take a lot of video. I'll create quite a bit of content. I'm really hoping, as I said, to do a little podcast, putting together clips from each of the shows, but we'll see how that all runs, whether or not that's going to be feasible. So very interesting, and interesting bringing it in this format, which is obviously audio rather than video, although some of you are watching on YouTube, that's going to be your vibe, so you're going to see more. Those of you who are listening, I will try, if I can't manage to put things together, I will actually do a podcast from Fashion Week, giving you the updates, the news, the trends I'm seeing. So we see the trends that are coming for the summer season, which is really good because the shops are just starting to drop some of the summer fashion, and it's really nice to see it actually on the runway, on a model in its entirety, see the looks, see the fabric, see how it works, see what the lengths are like. And then it's much easier for us to be able to sell that through to our clients, or for me to sell it through to my clients, or just recommend. I saw this amazing dress at the Juliet Hogan show, and I know I've got a couple, probably 2 or 3 mother of the bride and grooms coming up. It might be I see something at those shows that I can put forward for them to try on. And again, if it's not for that, there'll be a client or two in there that wants something from some of those designers. So I have a bit of inside information, which is excellent. I also really enjoy connecting with some of the sponsors. A couple of years ago, I connected with Antipodes Skincare and actually now use their skincare. So that was really good. They gave us a few samples and I took them away and really liked them. And that is the skincare I use. And I feel like it's really good quality. Even after going to Morocco and seeing Moroccan oil and all those things, I still feel like the quality that we're producing in New Zealand is really good. So love the fact that we get to celebrate New Zealand produced things, New Zealand produced clothing, goods, and New Zealand businesses all coming together in one place to celebrate fashion at New Zealand Fashion Week next week. So I'm excited. I will bring you some updates, like I have said, from Fashion Week. And I would love some questions. If you've got any questions about anything related to Fashion Week, please send them through and I'll do my very best to cover them off next week. Otherwise, thank you again for listening. Check this space. There might be a few extra podcasts coming out with the designer series before Fashion Week. Have a wonderful week. Keep wearing your beautiful clothes. If you don't have beautiful clothes to wear, I can definitely help with that. Ki kaha, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you again next week from New Zealand Fashion Week. Thank you for listening to the Style for Life podcast. Don't forget, you deserve to feel fabulous at every age, every stage, and at every size. If you're loving the show, hit subscribe and leave a review. It helps more amazing people like you find their way back to life through style. Thanks again. Until next time.